Plaintiff Raymond Jackson says after he was the victim of a home invasion, he was shaken up, so he moved in with his uncle, the defendant, for moral support. However, Raymond's suing him today for a cable bill. Defendant Dan Shoemaker says he wanted to help Raymond after the home invasion, so he gave him a place to stay. But Raymond turned out to be an irresponsible slob. He's countersuing for 2 months of rent.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Yes, Your Honor. So, hi, my name is Raymond Jackson. The defendant is my uncle. Mm-hmm. He's only like 8 years older than me, so he's more like a brother, uncle. You know, he used to stay with my mom off and on. You know, so we was pretty close. Back in March of 2018, I was involved in a home invasion. Someone broke into my home, tied me up, robbed me, stole my money, my cards, phone, everything.
What city is that?
Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I ended up moving to Indiana, because that's where my family was at. So when I moved there, my uncle let me live with him. I moved down there, you know, I was like, that must be a sign from God. So I ended up moving down there, staying with my uncle. You know, he charged me rent. But I didn't realize, you know, when I was moving in there, I didn't realize how much of an alcoholic he was. You know, he likes to drink a lot, you know, so.
How did it go? Tell me your experience living with him.
I mean, you know, he'll get off of work, come home, drink all day, play the game all day. And then once he gets to drinking, he gets to forgetting stuff. Like he'll accuse me from like eating his food or just, you know, just silly stuff. I used to go to my girlfriend's house every night and eat at her house. And now I come there just to lay down and sleep. Cause you know, I had to sleep on the couch. You know, I paid $300 just to sleep on the couch.
Did y'all fall out much at all? Hopefully not.
Only on Saturday when I woke up to clean up and he just left the house.
What do you say? How do you look at it?
I mean, I didn't have a room. I was sleeping in the living room. So like my closet was underneath the stairs. So, you know, and then my daughter was living with me too as well, full time. So, you know, so like she had like her snacks and stuff. But as somebody that was living there, especially living on the couch, I just wanted to get out the house. I didn't want to be a bother to him. You know, he was nice enough to let me stay there, you know. So I just wanted to just stay out the way. Just leave.
You keep referring to that couch and $300. How much do you think it would cost to have your own king-size bedroom?
Right now I'm paying $1,200 a month. So
there you
yeah.
go.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
I mean,
that's what it costs to sleep in a bed. $300 gets you a couch.
Yeah. I mean, I was just expecting, you know, especially with my circumstances with the home invasion, you know, he'll look out for me just for a couple, you know what I'm saying, just for a couple of months, you know.
That's true.
And then I ain't even gonna stunt. Like after that, I was like shooken up, you know, like dealing with PTSD. So I was like depressed too. So I wasn't myself. And then moving from where I was from, moving to there, you know, I ain't know the area. Mm-hmm. So it was just like,
that's understandable.
I was just going through a lot.
Did they ever catch the guys who burglarized you and held you hostage?
Unfortunately, I don't think they cared.
Who was supposed to handle the case?
Brooklyn Center, the city that they killed that young man. Brooklyn Center. Yeah, I went to the same police department. You know, and then, you know, I was trying to tell them everything. They just act like they wasn't interested. Yeah, so that's what I was dealing with. And then I called the detective like, hey, you know, they got my phone. Can you like see if y'all can track it down? I got my Apple, find my iPhone. They was like, this ain't the movies.
Oh, jeez.
And I ain't hear nothing back from them. And then matter of fact, during the home invasion, I had to break out the window and run. They ended up trying to arrest me because it was just, I don't know. It's police in there is not good at all. It's like they see a black man, they be ready to shoot first, ask questions second. It was crazy experience.
And I usually give political commentary or analysis or insight. I don't need to say anything. That's why I'm being quiet. I want you to tell it from a first-hand experience. Let you say all that we need to know about that particular police department and the detectives who were to handle your case. All right. Good enough, says everything. However, Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, who did such a great job on the Chauvin prosecution, he and his office, I think they're making things better there, and things are going to get better. I had the pleasure of working with him back in the 80s when we both started our careers, and built his legal career and then his career in Congress, and now as a state attorney general and hopefully the future governor. And I think things are going to get better there. But understanding now what you went through and how you were traumatized and trying to get on your feet, I can understand you doing what you had to do to survive, and him probably what he thought was making you and keeping you accountable for handling your business. And so I can understand him. You keep referring to that couch and $300. How much do you think it would cost to have your own king-size bedroom?
Right now I'm paying $1,200 a month, so
there you go. There you go.
I mean,
that's what it costs to sleep in a bed. $300 gets you a couch.
Defendant Dan Shoemaker is being sued by his nephew, who claims he moved in with Dan after he was the victim of a home invasion. But he's suing him today for a cable bill.
Let me hear from you, sir, regarding your nephew and his rent and how things went while he was living there.
Absolutely. Me and Raymond basically grew up together. We in the same household, and we've been in the same household for the majority of our life. If I wasn't over with him and his mother and her children were over at my mother's house, and we just came up as a real close-knit family. But we didn't really come up to be, lazy and irresponsible how like Raymond is, because Raymond will get, complacent after he comes home. And like he said, after he was involved with the home invasion, I offered a roof to him. I told him he could come down. He's going to have to pay me rent, of course. So I just wanted to get him to relish the responsibility. And, so I let him in. But soon after he got there, he just was, like he said, he stayed in the common area of my house. And, I like to keep my house kind of straightened out, because sometimes I like to have company. I have company come over there, and my living room smell like feet, and under the staircase is a bunch of junk. It was my clothes. I ain't had no closet. I ain't know where to put them at.
So you were pretty much celibate during the time he lived there, not by choice.
I was getting right. He could have got a hotel room for 30 days a month.
He was doing his thing on the couch, but they wouldn't make it back to the bedroom with you because they didn't want to walk. They didn't want to walk through the living room to get to him. His people, they just went there and plopped down on the couch. All right, now I got it.
Absolutely not, sir. On the contrary, I was getting some.
Oh, okay.
Let's just put that out there.
All right. All right. Tell me what happened with the...
But Your Honor, in all seriousness, it wasn't even me that brought up his feet. It's my woman to come over. She's like, man, your nephew feet stink down there. And, I can't even have
Yeah, now that is bad. Anybody ever tell you your feet stink?
That's my nephew, though. I don't blood thicker than mud.
Nobody's ever told you your feet stink. Even your daughter. Your daughter said something. Yes, she did. How old is your daughter?
My daughter rubs my feet. My daughter rubs my feet. My daughter
She's trying to get the stink off. You're right. She's trying to get the stink. She said maybe that'll rub off. How old is she?
7.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, Your Honor, the family knows who feet stink, and they know it's his. He had to call his mom to get a
That's enough. I'll let you address the alcohol abuse. Do you abuse alcohol every day or all the time?
I have a beer. I have a beer or two after work. A beer or 2 or 4.
With a little shot bottle in it. I know how that go. You put the shot bottle in it so it looks like beer, but you got a shot in there and you're drinking beer and liquor at the same time. Who you talking to, man?
I don't really, the hard
talking to
for the weekend.
All right. Let's get to the cable bill.
All right, Your Honor. So in December of 2019, I gave him a 2-month notice that I was moving out in February. So upon me moving out in February, he said, "Can I keep the cable bill in my name?" I said, "It's cool as long as you pay the bill." So once I got my own place, I ended up moving out to stay with my grandma so I can save up some money so I can get my own place. So once I eventually got my own place, I had transferred the services because I work from home. So when I had transferred the services, the balance was transferred over of the $1,300. No, he was like, "Oh, I had a payment plan, but it doesn't look like anything was getting paid." So I asked him, "Can I get my money?" He just kept saying, "I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back." Look, I paid $1,300 plus I just moved in. I needed my money. I'm not rich.
I was gonna give you some money.
My money.
What'd you say, sir?
Huh?
I told you I was gonna give you some money for that cable bill.
Yeah, you said you was gonna pay me back. I got the text message, Your Honor.
Who should pay?
He should pay it.
Why?
It's in his name. It's his cable bill.
Okay. So even though you use it full time, he used it zero amount of time since he left, you still think he should pay?
Well, no, I paid what I could pay.
Whose responsibility do you believe it was to pay after
mine.
he moved?
Mine.
Yours?
It was
Okay.
fully.
All right. Wanted to make sure that, you were thinking right. And in that sense, what did happen?
Upon him moving out, there was like a $270-something balance on the cable bill. When he moved into my house, he was supposed to give me $300 a month and
Rent.
pay the cable bill.
Well, that's $600 a month then. You act like the man was only giving you $300. That's $600. Cable bills cost $200-$300, don't they?
Yeah.
At least
Yes,
two.
they do.
Yeah, you don't know because you don't pay it. So at least 2 or 3. Yeah, no wonder you don't know. All right. The man was paying $500-$600 a month to stay there with you on the couch. $600 is supposed to get you a bedroom. Go ahead, without cable. Go ahead, bedroom but no cable. If you want cable, you're right. $300, you get a couch.
And never go grocery shopping and eat all my food.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you did. You got a fine deal. All right, let's get back to the cable. Why didn't you pay? Okay, I got the $276 you say he owed upon moving when he moved.
Right.
All right, how about that?
And what happened was that was during the pandemic. So my work kind of slowed down. And like from his own admittance, I have a beer or two and I play the game all night before I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning.
What game?
So
Videos?
it's an Xbox.
Xbox? Okay.
Xbox One, Call of Duty.
All right.
But
aren't you like 100? How old are you?
I'm just 92. I'm
Go ahead.
I'm 100.
Go ahead. You can't go to work with a clear mind because you're playing video all day. You don't do as well as you could at work. When I don't get enough sleep, I don't do as well. So that's what I'm just telling you. Or if I didn't smoke weed all night, I don't do as well the next day when I was a kid.
Yeah, you can bounce back.
A kid or yesterday?
Was it legal yesterday?
It was.
Well, go ahead. Just having fun. But I do want to normalize the use of marijuana, and not the abuse, but the use.
Absolutely. In all seriousness, it wasn't even me that brought up his feet. It's my woman to come over. She's like, "Man, your nephew feet stink down there." And, I can't even have a.
Yeah, now that is bad. Anybody ever tell you your feet stink?
Defendant Dan Shoemaker is being sued by his nephew, who claims he moved in with Dan after he was the victim of a home invasion. But he's suing him today for a cable bill.
All right. Now, so what are the other reasons? You say it was the pandemic. You didn't get any stimulus money and unemployment monies?
No unemployment. It just slowed down. And so I couldn't get unemployment. But what I did was I called the cable company and set up a hardship payment plan.
Okay.
Where they let me pay a certain amount to keep the cable on. Because when he took his television and everything when he left, for some reason, if you take one TV out of one room, all the boxes are like connected or something.
I tell you the reason.
Why?
Non-payment.
No. No.
There's no mystery to that. But you believe what to be the case? 3, when he left, you had 3 and none of them worked because of the cable?
Exactly.
All right, but
the internet was still active. And I didn't do anything. I don't really watch TV if it's not the basketball or football game anyway.
That's right.
So I didn't really use the TV anyway, but I couldn't.
Don't make me mad. Don't make me mad. All you do is watch basketball and ESPN and what else?
Football.
Play the game.
And play the game. And I'm so mad with black men about that this past year. Had all these black women out here protesting. They fighting our cause, and we back here watching ESPN and playing video, and they fighting for us. We're the ones with the police on our neck. You're the ones getting ignored by the police. Have you protested?
Yes, sir. When the thing
go.
happened to George Floyd, I went down to Minneapolis. I was protesting.
All right, good. And you?
No, sir.
Right, you sitting there watching, playing. Yeah, that's why I say that bothers me. I couldn't get out there. I'll be quite frank. I've been a part of a lot more, and I've contributed financially, but my age group, it wasn't smart to get on an airplane to come down and protest.
And I'm a single dad also, Your Honor. I'm sorry for interrupting.
How old is
I'm
the
a single
child?
dad.
How old is the child?
10. Well, she's 11 now.
She'd have loved to have been out there with Dad.
It was a beautiful sight. It was a beautiful sight.
Yeah.
At the protest?
Yes.
Yeah. Just seeing a lot of people coming together.
11-year-olds, yes. 11-year-olds, like they were doing the civil rights movement.
Well, I try not to shelter her from nothing.
There you
so
go.
you're right. You absolutely right.
All right, but we got off subject, but it's just troubling to me what I saw. I saw black women, white youth, and so brothers, it was hard to find them. Am I right or wrong?
No, you definitely right. It was a lot more women. It was a lot more women. It was a lot more white men and women than it was black men.
More white folks than black men. More black women than black men. I love my brothers. Y'all know I fight for you. You know I try to inspire you, but you know I also hold you accountable, and I will check you because I can. And I'm not scared of you. And y'all know it because I'm one of y'all. All right. So you believe you owe. It was primarily inability to pay, and you want to subtract $276. That's what you're saying, essentially?
No, sir.
Tell me what you're
since
saying.
he didn't give me credit for the rent and it didn't get left without notice, I was countersuing him for 2 months of rent.
You didn't give notice?
Your Honor, I gave him a 2 months notice because
How long?
Because that's my uncle.
2 months?
I gave him 2 months. 2 months. I told him in December. He was drunk, granted, and like I said, when he gets drunk, he gets forgetful.
Somebody said they have texts. Anything related to what we're talking about now? There you go.
I do.
About notice, about cable bills. Let's see what you have.
Yes.
Tell me what you have.
Yeah, it's
Your
page 4.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, Ray, do me a favor because I can't call Xfinity and tell them your services is back off after you just set up a payment plan yesterday. You paid $434 to restore your services on September 27th. $67 last week, $50 Friday, so the services should be active. He was like, yeah, you said.
I believe he owes you for the cable. Let's talk about the rent or the notice he says you failed to give him. Did you notify? Did you say something to him? Did you say, hey, nephew, you didn't give me notice? Do you have any communications where you said you didn't give me notice?
No, let me tell you this. He talked about leaving, but he didn't tell me when.
Yeah, you.
I told him when.
Why does a person talk about leaving and not give you an estimate of the time? Why I'm gonna leave one day. When you die? When? Yeah, you are. What time frame? I'm gonna leave when I retire. When you retire? He didn't say. You need to be a little more specific. When someone tells you that, try and lock him in on a time frame.
When he took his television and everything when he left, for some reason, if you take one TV out of one room, all the boxes are like connected or something.
I'll tell you the reason.
Why?
Non-payment.
No. No.
There's no mystery to that.
Defendant Dan Shoemaker is being sued by his nephew, who claims he moved in with Dan after he was the victim of a home invasion. But he's suing him today for a cable bill.
Give this man his money for the cable bill. 1318 minus 276. I'm gonna give him that 276. I know you're ready to contest that. I believe he gave you notice, not just talked about it. He talked about leaving. That was your notice. Talk about it. What did he say? When he retire? Or when I get a wife? Or when I become president of General Motors? Judgment for the plaintiff, 1042. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you. Hey man, I just want to let you know, man, I love you, man. But I need my money.
I love you, Ray, but you was wrong.
Nah, I mean, you talking about feet stink, man. Everybody know your toes messed up, man. Everybody know your feet, and then you smoke cigarettes. That house smells like cigarettes and feet from you.
Plaintiff Veronica Brown is an alcoholic, but she's currently in recovery and resides in a sober living home. Veronica became friends with the defendant after meeting in a recovery program, but she's suing her today for the balance due on a loan and stolen money. Defendant Hester Hall is a recovering crack cocaine addict, and she's currently 2 years clean and sober. Hester insists Veronica is suing for more than she owes, and she's countersuing her for harassment.
Start with you.
Okay, my name is Veronica Brown. I'm an alcoholic. I'm in a sober living home. I've been in recovery for a year now. My sobriety date is end of this month.
Good. That's a milestone that you're reaching.
Correct.
All right, but you always know that you're still an alcoholic
as long as I live.
Fight. Okay, got it.
Yes.
All right.
I still will be fighting the battle.
Yeah. All right, so good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What else you want to tell me?
Yes, I have a daughter and a son. My daughter has her own practice and she's a therapist, and my son is doing fine. I have 6 grandchildren, two girls and 4 boys.
Good.
And doing fine.
Good.
And
are you retired?
I'm married.
Okay.
Yes, I'm married. My husband retired military.
Okay.
Yes.
And you say you currently in the sober living home?
Currently in the sober living home now. Yes.
All right. Okay. Give me some background on you, ma'am.
I'm Hester Hall. I am a recovering addict. I just celebrated 2 years clean last week.
2 years, huh?
2 years.
Great. What was your drug of choice?
Crack cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And glad to hear you recovered. That's very extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Your first stint?
This is not my first time with sobriety. I achieved 23 years one time and tried to help another addict, and I relapsed.
How did you try to help the other addict?
Because that person was using, and I tried to get them clean. And there's a saying,
by being around them?
Yeah, you go to the barber shop, you get a haircut. You know, and so I'm starting all over again. And I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, and recovery is good. And that's how I was able to meet Miss Veronica here, because the recovery house that she's in, I started it. And
great.
When I first met her.
What's the longest, was the average time that a recovering addict has had to go to rehab to remain clean for a number of years?
The average.
I know a lot of them are in and out. Most people I know that remain clean
up to a year,
6 times.
For me, up to a year of sobriety, you know what I'm saying, you stand a chance. You stand a chance of standing on your own.
Right.
You know, you able to, most programs is up to a year.
One close relative of mine, it took that person going 7 times. That was on the 7th time.
It's an ongoing battle every day. And sometimes the more clean time you get, the harder it is for you to stay clean. Because money, property, and prestige divert you from who you are, who you was. They don't think we don't do the same things no more. We stop making meetings, we stop calling our sponsor. We just leave the fellowship alone because we think we have arrived with a lot of clean time, and that don't work. So every day I remind myself that I am an addict and that I have to take my medicine, and my medicine is going to meetings, calling my sponsor, sponsoring someone, and reaching back to someone that needs the help. I too have a beautiful daughter that has her own mental health facility. I have a 12-year-old little boy that I adopted in recovery the first time. He's 12 years old, and I have a good stock. That means I have a lot of people that support me today.
There you go.
And that's what keeps me clean.
There you go. This is the type of things we want our viewers to hear and see, because it's very important for people to have hope after going through the depths of addiction. Now there's opioids, and heroin is back with a vengeance. So it's the same in crystal meth. So we got to reemphasize those same success stories. And one of the things I heard that I always tell recovering addicts, you have to go to NA.
Defendant Hester Hall is being sued by her former friend, who claims after she loaned Hester money to visit her family, she failed to repay the loan.
A lot of folks say, well, I just go to church.
No.
You should. Fine. Glad you did. But at some point, you're going to relapse because church is not teaching you the coping skills. Yes, prayer every hour. But if you get, if that's your thing, you're saying, well, I just pray every hour. Okay, what about that half a day you don't pray? What happens when 6 p.m. and you miss your prayer that night?
Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir.
I'm just saying, there's so many ways other than the fellowship where you go in with others and you all are reinforcing the destructive lifestyle and how it affected others. You're saying that every day.
Every day.
To a group of people. It's not just help me be strong, it's look what you did. Look what I did to myself and my family and my friends. Y'all remind me of that. That's what they do in NA, right?
Yes, sir.
You all talk stories about
how I was.
Yeah, and it's so difficult to embrace that the embracing it every day is a deterrence. And that's why folks talk about me when I call folks crackheads when they're not in recovery, when they act like they don't want in recovery, when they come in here and lie. Oh, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't done that. Mama on the other side, you done destroyed her life. Yeah. You done destroyed your kids' lives, and you're gonna come in here and lie to my face, and I'm looking at you. I know what it is. I see it all the time. Still see it. I haven't detached myself from the community in Detroit. So my point is, I've only seen when people go to NA and they talk about it, and the reason they talk about it and reinforce the humiliation they cause to themselves and their family. So when you come in here lying to me,
yes, sir.
And I know you're still on crack. Mama saying you're on crack. You act like you're on crack. The facts tell me you're on crack. And you're sitting here lying to me. I'm going to humiliate you.
Yes, sir.
And call you a crackhead. So you can go home, you might not think about NA every day, but you're going to think about what the judge said to you on national TV.
Yes.
And you're going to say, let me go. People going to look at me and they going to say, hey, that's the way the judge called him a crackhead. So I don't want to be that. Let me go check.
Let me get straight.
And we have people that write us, call us, and say, Judge, you calling me a crackhead on national television caused me to change my life. We just had a woman that came onto the show. Wow. And she said it, and I was so glad because she had come on 2 years prior. So when she came as a crackhead, and I humiliated her because she was one of those liars, she came back. Judge, I was with you 2 years ago. You changed my life. Really? How did I change your life? I was a crackhead or heroin, whatever it was. I said, okay, and I sent you to rehab. No, you humiliated me. How did I humiliate? You called me a crackhead. And I just thought about that, and it was so humiliating. I said, I'm going to get myself clean. So my way encourages people to go and get rehab. It's been confirmed. So thank you for being here, for telling people they have to go to NA. My very best friend in life was a crack addict, and when he came to me for help, I started him little by little, but he was going to those NA meetings twice a day, 7 days a week for the first 2 years. After a couple of years, he reduced it to once a day for 19 years and raising his children by himself. He's the biggest success story I have, and that is because he went to NA. Glad we spent this time to talk about this. And this is the work we do, right? This is God's work we're doing, right?
Yes, sir.
That's all right. And how does she owe you for the loan and what you refer to as stolen money?
Okay. Miss Hall, I met Miss Hall and in a recovery program at a recovery program that I was in for 6 months there. That was August of last year. And I met her in that recovery program. She was like what they call an alumni. I kind of looked up to her because she really was knowledgeable of the big book. We were in classes. We'd take classes and take tests and things to the sort and things like that. And that's how I got to know her. I was very, I actually liked her like as a person. And so then after she left there, I had found out that she had and I was there 6 months. And then we found out that she was running a sober living home. A couple of us went to her sober living home there, and we left there like March the 10th. And we went in 2021, and we went into her sober living home. And then I was there for like about a week, and she had asked me to go riding with her, go out to eat with her. And I went out and so we rode around, and so in riding, she was like, she started crying, and I was like, what is going on? And she burst out and started crying, and she was like, I really miss my family. And then I was like, well, where's your family at? And then she was like, that she had a son. And I was like, she said, my younger son is who I really miss. And she kept crying. And then I was like, when the last time you seen him? She said, it's been years since I seen my family. And so I was like, well, is there anything I can do? And then she was like, yes. She said, if you help me, she said, I'll make sure you get it. I'll make sure you get your money back. Well, I had given her $400 for the flight. First, she had said that she was going to pay me when she get her stimulus, and when that she works peer support work for the NA program. For the NA like meetings, and she also gets a government check every month. And she said, what I do? She said, I just pay you.
You didn't throw income tax refund in there?
No, she didn't throw that in there. She sure did.
Double down on you. That'd have been the.
Yeah,
that would
of
have
course.
been the.
That happens.
Yeah.
Defendant Hester Hall is being sued by her former friend, who claims after she loaned Hester money to visit her family, she failed to repay the loan.
She gave you the stimulus?
Yeah, she said the stimulus.
What's the other one?
Yes.
There was another one you mentioned that had
And
government money.
Yes.
Financial aid check.
Well, no, it wasn't financial aid.
Oh, she didn't say the financial. That's usually part of it. All right.
Yeah.
No financial aid.
It was a government.
They took it for child support.
No.
All right. They had to offset it from the welfare she used to get years ago.
I don't know what it was. It was like she got a check every month.
You just gave her 2 pieces of government gain. Oh. And lost your game.
Yeah.
All right, if you're going 5, you got 5 things. Income tax. Stimulus. Student loan didn't come. They took it because I hadn't paid, because I didn't pay my child support. They took it because I was on welfare years ago. That's the novel one.
Well, that's what she's telling me now. 3 different payments.
All right.
She's telling me 3 different payments, how she was going to pay me. And so when I got to the $400, she said, oh my God. She said, I really had something to do with that money. She said, and I'm crying. I'm really upset. I'm really mad.
You crying or she crying?
I'm crying because
she
she's
had the
telling
crying
me.
game
Yeah,
first.
she's asked me to.
And you got the crying game this time.
I betrayed your trust. I really betrayed your trust, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I betrayed your trust. And then I'm crying. I'm like, what are you doing? She said, I'm gonna call my daughter, and I'm gonna bring you some money. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna call my daughter. I'm gonna call my daughter. I'm crying. Okay, we crying, but where's my money?
That's right. You apologize and all. That's a nice thing.
I apologize,
that's a beautiful
but I don't
thing.
have this money now.
That's a beautiful thing. I appreciate you. You're a great person. Now, what about those ends?
Yeah,
right?
And so then she brought me she came to the house, and then she said, I need you to sign right here because I'm getting ready to give you $200 right now, and I'm going to bring you $200 next week.
Sign it?
And I signed it. It was a little strip of corner paper. And I signed it. She said,
So she should only owe you $200 now.
That's it.
No.
She didn't give it to you?
Yeah, she gave me the $200 right
Then
then.
why would she still owe you the total amount?
She would still owe me the total amount.
Why?
Okay.
If she gave you half.
If I give you half.
Because she only gave me $200 then.
And she owed you 4.
I owed you 4.
She owed me the total, the main total that she had owed me.
All I've heard about so far is $400.
Okay.
I don't know what else you're about to tell
Okay, the main total was $829.
What?
Where did that come from, ma'am?
Okay.
You're throwing
If
this
you look
in
on page
stuff
1,
from
I'm
where?
sorry.
She
I'm
throwing
sorry.
stuff
If you
in
look
there.
on page 1.
No, tell me. Because
Okay.
you went through, you've been talking for 3 minutes.
Okay, then.
And you have
correction.
said nothing about
Okay.
anything other than $400.
Okay.
Now something is 800 and something.
Okay.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
Let me
No,
break
you
it
talk
down.
for 3 minutes
Okay,
and then
okay,
wait
then
to the
break it
end
down.
and tell me it's
I'm
something
here.
other than
I'm
you
here
Okay.
because I do owe that lady. But I don't owe that lady what she's saying I owe her, okay? Yes, I did meet her in the recovery. Yes, there was a recovery house that I started with someone else that took, when I went to Virginia, signed a contract and took the house right from me and turned all of them against me. And that's when they started talking about me, okay? So I made sure somebody was there, but she wanted me to meet her down the street and give her the money. Well, I gotta meet you down the street because I want everybody to see that I'm paying
Talk
you.
about the borrowing at first.
She said, I'll give it to you, and you can pay me back when
$400
you can.
plus
and
the service charge.
Service charge. So she handed me the money at first, and I handed it back to her and said, let's pay it on your card.
Okay.
That's how you show how much I really owe her.
Okay.
When I came there to give her $200, I did say that in the next 2 weeks, I will give you some more. But I did because things went off the chain then. All right, what happened after that? She called me, told me
But you're admitting to owing $200.
Yes, I'm admitting to owe her.
You know anything about anything else?
Anything
you admit
else?
to
No.
owing?
No.
All right,
Okay.
ma'am.
Defendant Hester Hall is being sued by her former friend, who claims after she loaned Hester money to visit her family, she failed to repay the loan.
All I heard was she owed you, loaned her $400, and she paid you $200.
Let me break it down then for you, Judge Mathis. Okay, page 1. On page 1, I drew out this $500.
No, ma'am. Tell me.
Okay.
Tell me
Okay, the
exactly
$400
when and when she was supposed
Okay.
to repay. I got the $400
Okay.
for the trip.
Right here. Okay. It was $400.
I know
March
about that,
18th.
ma'am. That's why I'm about to give you $200 and send you
Okay.
on. Because
Okay.
that's all you keep talking about.
Okay.
And you won't tell me any of these other things you're talking
Okay.
about.
She don't have them.
The airline ticket.
Was $400, correct?
Okay.
That's $400, right?
Okay.
The same thing you keep
The
talking
airline
about.
ticket
What's
was
your counterclaim for, ma'am, for harassment?
I got it right
Just
here.
say,
Ma'am,
what she-
I've
what
done
she's-
everything
what she's
I
doing
can
now?
with
What she's
that.
doing now?
All you keep doing is talking
that's
about
my
the
counterclaim,
400.
Judge. What
It's
she's
what?
doing now? Don't remember, don't know what she's
I got
talking
it right
about.
here,
Okay, well, you
Telling
can't sue
everybody-
the woman for
telling
not
everybody
being
against
able to
me.
remember.
I got it
Ma'am,
right
I've given you every chance. No more chances.
yeah, I mean,
It's
nobody got
over.
time for that.
$200 is
What?
your judgment. Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed. I'm
Okay,
not
sir.
granting you money for anything
Okay.
else.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I came here in hope that we can get our friendship back, right? Because I loved you. Really, I was attached to
I care for you.
And you know how bad it hurt me, right? When I didn't come through for you with that $200. So I want to say to you that I love you and I hope this can mend our relationship because I want it to go further. I love you.
All right. Take care.